Hello. Happy Sunday. Looking forward to our class today. And if you're here in the chat, if you're on a computer, usually it's the best when you're on your computer. I don't know if you can do it on an iPad or your phone, but I always appreciate, since I'm kind of working, all by myself, just some feedback. So if you are able to hear me okay and see me okay, just give me a thumbs up in the chat or a hello. If this is the first time that you've joined me, say hi. If you've been to my classes before in real life or over Zoom, also please, I would love to hear from you, checking in. I'll wait about 4 more minutes for everybody to get here. Hi, Allie. So nice to see you too. Well, I can't see you, but I know your energy's there. I can feel it. Thank you for joining me. And thanks for also chatting with me too, because my kids, my husband and kids, they love to go enjoy the sunshine in our neck of the woods. It's really beautiful and sunny out, so they were anxious to get out, and I was looking forward to a quiet house for this live stream, but I'm also pretty lonely here. It's really quiet, so it's nice to have a connection with y'all. I'm drinking my tea. It's kind of chilly in my house today. I went outside and had a snack and was hanging out in the backyard looking at the little bees floating around and just enjoying the sunshine. Maybe one of these days I can move this live stream outside. I don't know how that setup's going to work, but anywho. Also, if you're joining me and you are wanting to practice something specific in our class today, please let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. Yes, it is. Allie, you're in Austin area, right? I think you are. Yes, it's so pretty out here. So yeah, if you are wanting anything specific, we're going to kind of work over the entire body today, moving slowly and just fluidly, really connecting with the breath as much as we can. And anything that comes to mind, if there's something you really, really want to practice, or, oh, okay, Leander, awesome. Great. I'm in Round Rock area. Yeah, we're close. We're close. The cities are close to each other. Yeah, so say you're thinking about down dog, really we'll practice down dog, but something specific that you are needing in your practice, please let me know. I'm always happy to fold that in. And then, of course, our Shavasana will be accompanied by the bowls. I will be recording that and releasing a separate audio only for that, as well as I usually do. So you have that available if you'd like. What was I going to say? Oh, there was something I wanted to mention too. I started these live streams because we were unable to bring you all the Sound and Soul Flow classes over Zoom, because when we did so, anytime we played the bowls, they would kind of distort the sound, and it was just not fun for anybody. So we had to kind of put those on hold. Oh, okay. Great, Allie. Thank you for, adapt however you need to in your practice. If there's a pose, I usually offer a lot of modifications within a practice. But if there is something that you need or a pose you just want to completely kind of skip out of, that's totally okay. That goes to, in a live class, like when I'm actually in the space with you. I mean, I always welcome you all to really listen to your body and tune in and do what you need to do, because that's what this is about, right? It's not about you doing the exact thing and it has to be perfect. Like, that wouldn't be any fun at all. So yes, thank you. Anywho, so yes, as I mentioned earlier, the Sound and Soul Flow class we weren't able to do over Zoom, but we figured it out. One of my sweet friends who is also a yoga teacher at Tribe, her name is Sarah Young. She teaches our yin yoga classes on Sundays. This morning, she had her class at 9:15, and she also teaches a chair yoga class throughout the week. So if there's anybody out there who is looking for a chair class, I believe she teaches a free one on Saturdays. So check out our schedule for that. She's amazing. But anyway, she told me about how you can adjust Zoom settings to accommodate for playing the bowl. So I was able to bring my Sound and Soul Flow class back on Thursday mornings at 9:15 through our Zoom classes. So if you are wanting to join me, I would be absolutely thrilled to have you there. All right, well, let's get going here. I almost said this morning. I usually teach in the morning, so that's what naturally comes to mind. But I want to welcome you here in your space if you're joining me live or if you are joining me later on. Of course, this is recorded so that you can view this at your convenience. So welcome from wherever you are, the present or the future or the past. I don't know how. Anyway, welcome wherever you are tuning in from today. And I would love for you to just come into your space wherever you are, in comfortable seat on your mat, or if you're using a chair. I am propped up on a cozy pillow. And just find a comfortable seat. You can place your hands wherever you like, on your knees or in your lap. Anything that enables you to allow the spine to lengthen and that you're feeling comfortable and connected. And nothing fancy here with the breath. Just begin to notice the natural state of the breath. And sometimes when we're asked to bring our awareness to breathing, it's like, oh, how do I do that? I mean, it's silly, but it kind of becomes this automatic process within our body, and we don't really think about it a whole lot. So when we think about it, think about the sensations, think about the feeling of that breath flowing in and out of the body. It could be through the nose, or maybe even in and out through the mouth, or both, maybe breathing in through the nose and out of the mouth. Just go ahead and welcome your own natural rhythm, wherever that lands in your body today. And if you would like to also close the eyes, go ahead, maybe so that you can tune in a little bit deeper to that breath. And we tend to take our breath for granted. As I mentioned, breathing in and out, totally unconscious of it throughout the day. When we're sleeping, this is just a natural process. And usually our breath is quite shallow within the body. And we're not really using or filling the lungs to their capacity. And this can be due to a lot of different things: stress, the environment, or even wanting our bodies to look a certain way. So we're not really letting our belly fill up with breath. We're kind of holding things in. And when we breathe in this shallow way, the body remains in this cyclical state of stress. Our stress causing shallow breathing and our shallow breathing causing stress. And it just, it becomes this kind of habit, right? We're not really thinking about it. But when we breathe more consciously, we can allow ourselves to really feel that into our chest space and expanding the ribs and expanding the belly. So here we have this time, we have this space, we're using our yoga practice to really tune into the breath and using our lungs' full capacity. So let's practice that a little bit here. So as you kind of move into that natural breath, what happens if you invite the breath deeper down and wide into the belly? And then see if you can even wrap the breath, not just in the front of the body, but all the way around the side body and down and wide into the back body. And you might be thinking, well, my lungs are up here and they stop at a certain point. That's true. But the diaphragm is this big kind of muscle that helps us to breathe. And the diaphragm moves in a really beautiful way. As we inhale, it kind of lengthens up and you can feel that lengthening down, that change of pressure within the body. And then as you exhale, there's this contraction and lift of the breath to help the breath come back out again. So even though our lungs are only so big and we can only breathe so far into our lungs, the awareness and that expansion of the breath can really be felt deeper down into the body. And at first that might feel kind of weird. It might feel like, I don't know, I can't breathe that deeply. And that's okay. If that sort of breath starts to feel unnatural to you, and it will at first, but if it starts to induce kind of the opposite effect, you start to feel a little bit of anxiety, then let your breath settle down into its own natural rhythm. But if you are feeling like, okay, maybe I am going to try and open this breath a little bit more down and wide into the belly. You can even track this movement with your hands. Can you feel the belly expand with your breath? And then as you exhale, hands kind of move back in. You can even move your hands up to the ribs and feel and track the breath there. Beautiful. Continue just noticing the breath in your body. I'm going to move onto my mat so that you can see me a little bit better. You can also see my microphone here. I'm going to scoot it over. Awesome. Okay. Moving over to my mat. Keep that breath flowing in the body. And then we're going to attach our breath to movement. So placing your hands down next to you. On your next breath in, see if you can follow the breath up to the top as you rise your hands overhead. Good, and like wings, exhale, float the hands back down to the floor. Inhale, send the arms up and overhead. Any amount. Exhale, float the arms back down. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, arms reach up. And this time we'll keep the right hand where it is. Left arm floats down to the earth. Begin to lean over to the left side, keeping the right sit bone anchored down. So in other words, we're not tipping over. And perhaps wrapping the right shoulder up a little bit. You can stay soft through the left elbow, maybe finding a little bit of movement here, a little sway, pulsing. Beautiful. Come all the way up to the top. Let's flow it on right on over to the right side. Right hand touches down, left arm reaches. Again, keeping the left sit bone anchored. Nice. I'm just moving a little bit more fluidly, rocking it over to the left, floating it over to the right. You might even try spiraling around front, letting the right arm follow, fluttering the fingertips as you circle around and back and forth at your own pace. Just loosening up the spine, taking any other movements that feel natural to you here. Beautiful. Come all the way up to that neutral spine. Deep breath in, arms reach to the sky. Exhaling over to the right. Right hand behind the back, left hand gently resting on the right knee. Press down through the sit bones, down through your right fingertips. And be mindful of not pushing or pulling yourself into this pose. We're using the breath, inhaling to lift and lengthen the spine. And every exhalation, maybe finding a little bit more of that twist and that depth within your twist. Shoulders relaxed out of the ears, gaze wherever it's most comfortable for your neck. Take one more deep breath here, inhale. On the exhale, just gently unwind back through center. Other side, inhale, arms reach to the sky. Find length along the spine. Exhale, twisting to the left, right hand on the knee, left fingertips behind the back. Again, pressing down through every point of contact into the earth so that we can find that length through the spine, sending this twist from the low back and bringing it higher up along the spine so we can twist and open the heart. One more deep breath in. Exhale completely. Gently unwind, return through center. Take your fingertips, interlace them in front of the heart, press the palms forward, round the back, create space in between the shoulder blades, maybe tucking the chin just a little bit here. Broaden across the back, maybe even sending your breath to that area. Awesome. And then keep those hands forward, roll over the knees, make your way into a tabletop pose. And we'll warm up the wrists a little bit here. So hands underneath the shoulders or slightly ahead. If you are in a chair, you can still do a little bit of these. So pretend that you're pushing your hands into the floor and bringing those fingertips back toward you. And then from here, shifting forward and back. Nice and gently, not putting a huge amount of pressure on those wrists. But we do a lot on our hands and knees or wrists, so it's nice to warm them up from time to time. From here, take your fingertips so that they're facing the left and right side of your mat. Again, if you are seated here, you can just go ahead and simply spiral your hands outward, jazz hands a little bit here. Good, and then from here, you're going to shift from side to side, nice and gently. Checking in with the rest of the body, noticing what the shoulders are doing, the belly, of course, the breath. Nice, come back through center. And turning those fingers so that now they're facing the knees and the thumbs are pointing to the left and right side of the mat. Shift forward and back. If you are seated up, go ahead and turn. This is kind of hard to do. You can also turn your palms forward so thumbs are out, or you can just simply bring the tops of your wrists and the fingertips pointing down. Okay. So if you're here with the hands on the floor, again, shift forward and back, nice and gently. And very slowly, we'll peel off of those hands and roll out the wrists. I really like to kind of squeeze out the forearms here. And just give them a little roll from side to side. And we'll make our way back into tabletop pose. All right, so from here, getting into the hips a little bit. We'll start here. I'm going to turn around so you can see me a bit better. I'll start on the right side. I'm actually going to move my blanket out a bit. All right, so from here, want you to pay attention to the low belly. Oftentimes in our tabletop, we kind of dip down. So see if you can find length through the tailbone, reach to the crown of the head and find some integrity through the low belly. We'll take the right knee out to the side. I'll just begin to find some movement here. You don't have to lift it very high. You can also extend the leg long if that feels good to you. Maybe find some pulses here. That's a little bit more intense. So if you find that you're like, nope, don't want to do that, you can always return back to the bent knee. Okay, just finding some circling here. Nice. And then from here, let's set the foot down out to the side, straightening the leg if it's not already straight. We'll find a little bit more mobility in that right hip. Again, if you're following along at home in a chair, you can turn your leg out in different directions, just exploring that movement in the hip. So from here, right foot, take the foot all the way back behind you, kick down a block. That's what I did. Whoops. And then go ahead and bring it over all the way to the left. Peek around your left shoulder at your right heel. Good. Come back through center. Bring it all the way back in front and take those toes as high up towards the upper right-hand corner of your mat as you can. Nice. And then we'll do that again. Take it all the way back behind you. Cross it over to the left. Peek around your left shoulder. Stretch the right side body. Sweep the right leg up. Bring the toes to the upper right-hand corner of your mat as much as you can. And last time, cross it all the way back behind you. And since our legs are crossed, go ahead and bend into that right knee. Walk your hands back and sit back into a cross-legged child's pose. If your knees are like, nope, don't like this, then stay in this variation. Or if you're seated in a chair, you can just cross that left leg over the right. It's really squeezing those thighs together as much as you can. Good. Coming back up and keeping the left knee, I'm going to turn to face you. Keeping the left knee crossed over the right. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale, lengthen. Again, we'll take a nice twist. Exhale over to the left. Sitting up tall. Lifting higher up along the spine. One more breath. Little burp. Excuse me. I was drinking some tea earlier. Tea makes me burp. Inhale. And exhale. Unwind. Come back through center and untwist those legs. Come back to a tabletop pose. If you want to come off of those wrists, if you were on your wrists for a while, go ahead and roll them out. And we'll come back through center. I am pretty embarrassed. I don't know if you can see the flush on my face. Anywho, all right, come back to tabletop pose. And we'll take that leg, that right leg out to the side once again. Toes are facing forward. I'm going to move through a few cat and cows here. So soften the elbows, lift the heart forward. As you exhale, round the back, tuck the chin. One more time. Inhale, lift the heart forward, soften the elbows. Exhale, round the back, tuck the chin. Good. Slowly come up to the top. That right leg is still out to the side. Right hand comes to that leg. Inhale, left arm reaches and begin to gently slide your right hand down as you reach that left arm up. If your hand is resting on your right leg, be gentle here. We're not trying to press into the leg. Keep a micro bend here and light through that right hand, lifting up and out through both sides of the waist. One more breath here. Inhale. As you exhale, return through center. Bring your left hand to the floor. Right arm reaches up, a little side plank variation. Option to keep your right foot where it is or maybe lift it up parallel to the floor. Good. You can take a few little pulses here too if you're feeling feisty. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go ahead and release down and take care of those wrists if you'd like. Roll them out. Squeeze out the forearms. And we'll come back to Neutral, come back to tabletop pose for the other side. So just like before, we'll take the left knee, bring it straight out to the side. Again, finding some movement here, some little pulses, some little circles. Check in with the hands. Notice how much weight you're putting into the right knee, right hand. Can you switch back and even things out over the left hand as well? You can also extend through the left leg, lifting it up, maybe some pulses here. Ooh, feeling that in the right glute. Nice. Good, setting the foot down, extending the leg if it's not already extended. We'll take that leg and sweep it all the way back behind, over to the right. Peek around your right shoulder towards your heel. And sweep it all the way back and around, reaching those toes to the top edge, left hand corner of your mat, as far as they'll go. My mat is circular, so that's kind of tricky for me to do, but I'll sweep it around over to the right, peek over your right shoulder, and sweep it up and around to the top edge of your mat. Nice, and then peek it. Sweep it around all the way to the left, peek around. With that right leg over the left, go ahead and cross that knee behind and sit back into a cross-legged child's pose. Again, if this isn't working for you, find something that does. This is your practice, right? Awesome. All right. Since we are in this cross-legged position, come all the way to seated and turning just so that you can see me a little bit better. Right leg is crossed over the left. I'm working towards stacking my knees, but if you're more like in this position or even just like this, that's totally fine. Inhale, arms reach to the sky. Exhale, we'll twist to the right this time. Sitting up tall. Shoulders relaxed out of the ears. Coming back to that deep belly breath. This for a breath or two, noticing where you can send the breath. Lengthening it out even more so it's less shallow. And inhale, come back to the top. Roll over those knees. And we'll take that left leg out to the side once again. Moving through a few cat and cows. I'm going to switch so that you can see the side just a little bit here. Take a breath in, soften the elbows, lift through the heart. Exhale, press down through the hands around the upper back. Good, inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, round. Nice, come all the way up to half kneeling with that left leg out to the side. Left hand on your leg, right arm reaches up and over, gate pose. Lifting long and out through both sides of the waist. Good, remembering to be gentle on your leg. Our knee does not like to bend inward, so just stay light here with the left hand. Inhale, return through center. Bring your right hand to the floor. Left arm reaches. Option to extend the left leg parallel to the floor. Maybe some pulses here to build some strength in the outer left hip. Yep, I'm feeling that today. Nice, good. And then slowly come all the way back into tabletop, coming off of those wrists if you're feeling like you want to give them a little extra something. Nice. Returning to tabletop pose. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips nice and high. If you are in a chair, you can use your chair, maybe the back of the chair, and kind of do a standing down dog. That's really nice to get the length through the spine and through the backs of the legs. Or just find what works best for you today. Pedaling out the heels, rocking the hips from side to side. Pressing the earth away as you bend the knees, curl the tailbone up And allow the heels to soften down towards the earth. And the heels don't ever have to touch the floor. It's more, we're looking for that lengthening up through the tailbone. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, right leg lifts to the sky. Reaching up. Bend at the knees, stack your right knee on top of the left. And begin to draw some circles here. One direction and then the other. Return through center, re-extend the right leg. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose around the back. Step your right foot to your right thumb. Pivot your left heel down to the floor. Take a breath really to ground here. So connect your feet into the earth and then press the floor away. We're going to roll up to the top. Arms reach out to a T into our warrior two. So right toes are pointing forward. That left heel is kind of angled back a bit. And let's check in with the hips a bit. So oftentimes when we're in our warrior two, that right hip drops. So see if you can lift up that right hip. And you'll feel this kind of left leg engage a little bit more. Those muscles will spiral around the bone. And then check in with this knee too. So sometimes if we're being lazy about it, the right knee kind of angles inward. Engage the glutes. When you engage the glutes, the knee will begin to kind of track outward. Yeah. Dropping the hips a little bit more, staying anchored through the edge of that left foot. Press down through the feet like you're trying to kick your heels up. I know our feet are connected and that's kind of impossible to do, but just engage the muscles in that way like you're trying to do that. And then when you're ready, arms are reaching if they're not already doing so. Relaxing the shoulders down. We'll find some movement here. On your next breath in, press down through the feet. Straighten through the right knee. Reach your arms to the sky. As you exhale, rebend the right knee. Drop the hips. Press the palms away from each other. Beautiful. Inhale, arms reach to the sky. Straighten through the right leg. Exhale. Following the breath, just like we did at the very beginning of our practice. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, press. Very nice. Let's lower the right arm to that right leg. Left arm spirals up and over, bicep over left ear, extended side angle. So not putting a whole lot of pressure on the right knee. Scooting that left shoulder up. Deep breath, still anchored through the edge of the left foot. Take one more breath. As you exhale, windmill the left arm down and around. Frame your right foot. Walk your hands forward. I'm going to scooch back on my mat. Walk your fingertips forward and lift through the left leg into a standing splits. Good. Letting the forehead soften down towards your shin. Good. Very slowly release your left foot down next to the right. Forward fold. Somewhere towards the top of your mat. Keeping the knees super soft. My knees are really bent here. You can grasp opposite elbows or interlace the fingers behind the neck. Find a little swaying here from side to side, shaking the head a few times yes, a few times no. Good. Reconnecting with the earth, release your fingertips down to the floor if they're not already there. Deep breath to ground. Exhale, press into your feet. Slowly roll up. One vertebra at a time. And move over. Roll the shoulders onto the back, standing tall. Tadasana. Lifting up. Hold on, I gotta. Thank you for that. Oh, you're welcome. Thanks, Chris, for joining me. Palms are opening up. Spiral the heart open. Standing tall here. So really pressing down and wide with your feet like you're trying to rip your mat in half. And we don't want to do that, of course, but just pretend like, oh my gosh, I'm pressing so hard down and wide with my feet. You can almost like rocket up into the sky. Good. Now keeping that same connection through our feet, shifting your weight over to that left foot, finding some lightness in your right foot. You can bring your hands to your hips. Adjust your yoga pants. Oh my gosh, I just realized I have a tissue in my pocket. Wow, okay. Can't edit any of this out, so that's on me. All right, so from here in a spiral, the right knee out to the side. A lot of embarrassing things happening in this video today. And you can keep the toes down on the earth, maybe just nestling that right heel on the left ankle. You can stay right here. This is a beautiful place to be. You can also lift that foot below the knee joint, or maybe even using your right hand to guide that foot above the knee joint. So find what works for you in your tree pose, finding a point in front of you to fix your gaze upon, your drizdi. Hands can come to heart center, maybe arms out to the sides, up to the sky, wherever you would like to place those hands. And you might feel wobbly today. You might feel like you're just falling all over the place. That's okay. Come back to a place of stillness, even if it's back to mountain pose. That's totally fine. Come back to the breath. Come back to any intentions that you may have set when you took this time today to dedicate to your self-care. What was that intention behind that? Beautiful. Now from here, continuing to find your balance over the left foot, let's bring that knee in. Give it a quick squeeze before releasing it down. Shake it out. And return to the top edge of your mat if you're not already there. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, over soften knees, forward fold, all the way down. Maybe finding your blocks if you're using them. Inhale, lift halfway, planting your hands right above the knees here, really lifting the heart forward, lifting the gaze, bringing the spine into extension. So we're strengthening the back. Usually throughout the week, we're kind of in this like T-Rex shape, driving or at a desk. So it's really great to give your spine a break and move it in the opposite direction. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Lower the hands all the way to the floor. Step it back into your down dog. Find some movement here. Pedal out the heels. Rock the hips from side to side. Again, coming back to that idea of really lifting the hips high, softening the knees, curl the tailbone up. Find some spaciousness through the upper part of the back in between the shoulder blades. Get a deep breath in. Exhale. This time the left leg lifts high, three-legged dog. Bending at the knee, stack your left hip on top. Begin to draw some circles here. One direction and then the other. Re-extending the left leg long, take a breath. As you exhale, scoop the knee underneath. Make some room to step your left foot to your left thumb. Turning around here so I can face you. Pivot your right heel down, deep breath to ground. Exhale, press into the earth. Roll it up to the top. Arms can reach or maybe finding the hips. The left knee is bent here. I'm just fine-tuning our warrior two pose. So as I mentioned before, oftentimes here, that left hip will drop down, or the knee on the hip that's bent, or the knee that's bent, the hip's going to drop a little bit. So go ahead and even things out a bit. You might even find widening your stance will help open that up just a little bit. And if we think about it, this pose is kind of more like a hip opener than some other poses that we do, other standing poses that we do, because our leg is externally rotating from the hip, and we're engaging those leg muscles to build that strength there. All right, so now that we have the hips squared off, pressing down through the feet, engaging the glutes. See if you can kick your heels up into towards your bottom. It's not gonna happen, I know, but that's what we're looking for as far as our muscle engagement. You can add the arms here if you'd like. And then we'll find some movement here, attaching our movement with breath. Inhale, arms reach to the sky, straighten through the left knee. Exhale, rebend the left knee, press the palms away from each other. Beautiful. Inhale, arms reach. Finding this flow. Using your breath to guide you. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, reach. Beautiful. Let's take the left elbow to the left knee. Sweep the right arm up and over, bicep over right ear. Again, finding some lightness through the left knee. Sometimes when I'm feeling especially mean in my classes, I'll have my students reach for a beach ball or something. Not today. This is about ease. This is about flow, finding the breath. But if you want to challenge yourself, go ahead and do that. I'm all for it. I'm going to keep my elbow here. Deep breath. As you exhale, windmill the right arm down and around. Frame your left foot, pivot your right heel. Up. Walk your hands forward, lifting that right leg nice and high. It doesn't have to be super high here. I think this pose is called standing splits, and sometimes I think it's misnamed because when we think of splits, we think, okay, my right leg needs to be pointing straight up to the sky. For sure, if you can do that, awesome. But really just, we're trying to find some stretch along the bottom leg here. Softening the forehead towards your shin. And slowly step your right foot next to the left. Forward fold. A little sway here from side to side. Grasping opposite elbows. Maybe shaking the head a few times, yes. A few times, no. Notice my knees are super soft. Release the hands back to the earth. Take a breath in, ground even more. As you exhale, press down into the earth. Slowly roll up to the top, standing tall. Move so you can see me a bit better. Tadasana, mountain pose. So standing tall, you spiraling the palms forward, shoulders roll up and down the back. And we're pressing so much down into the feet and wide, like you're trying to rip your mat in half. And while at the same time, our head is reaching up to the sky. Coming back to your breath. Back to your earth. Shifting your weight into the right foot this time. Find some lightness through that left foot. Coming up onto the tippy toes, swiveling the knee out to the side, keeping the toes there right on the earth, or perhaps lifting the foot below the knee joint, or bringing the foot above the knee joint of the right leg. Hands can come to heart center, or in any shape that you'd like, maybe branches of your tree. Keep mine at heart center. Find a point in front of you that's not moving to bring your gaze to. Tuning into the breath, into those little micro movements within the body. And if you're weebling and wobbling here, that's okay. Come out of the pose, take a few deep breaths, and return to it. This is why we call this yoga practice. Good. Taking one more deep breath here. And release your left foot down. Stepping your feet wide, a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Take a breath in, arms reach up. And as you exhale, if this is available to you, coming all the way down into your Malasana, your Yogi Squat, you can bring a block or two underneath the sit bones. If your heels are lifted, maybe rolling a blanket for underneath. You can also practice this with your back against the wall. And if this pose is like, nope, don't want to do it today, you can always come to seated, whatever that looks like for you, okay? But if you're here in your Malasana, hands at heart center, elbows are pressing outward towards the knees squeezing in towards the elbows. Lift and lengthen up out of the shoulders so the sides of the neck are long. And finding a little bit of engagement here. So pressing outward, as I mentioned, and squeezing inward with the knees. Coming back to the breath. This is a nice pose to really tune into that deep belly breath. Releasing the fingertips to the floor, tenting the fingertips down. Inhale, right arm reaches up, maybe following your thumb with your gaze. And try not to let the right knee collapsing inward. Keep that right glute engaged. Meanwhile, that left elbow is pressing out and left knee is pressing in. And return back through center. Right hand touches down, left arm reaches. Again, maybe following the thumb with your gaze. This is a really great pose for the low back. One more breath here. And unwind. Come back through center. Bring your hands behind you if you're using a block or blanket. Go ahead and remove that off to the side. Come all the way to seated. Extend the legs forward. Give them a little shimmy here. Massage out the quads, down to the knees, the shins. And back again. Make our way onto the back. Taking your time, no rush at all. Hugging the knees into the belly, a little gentle rock from side to side. And bringing those feet to the floor. Feet are hip width distance apart. Hands alongside the hips. Take a deep breath in, press through the heels, press through the hands, lift the hips up any amount. As you exhale, roll the hips back down. We'll keep moving just like that. Inhale, lift up any amount in our bridge pose. Exhale, back down. Last time, inhale, lift up any amount. If you're wanting to, you can maybe scoop one shoulder, both shoulders underneath, clasping the hands underneath you. Gaze is lifted, chin moving away from the chest. Check in with the knees. Try not to let them flare out. And try not to be lazy here. Just pressing down into the feet. One more breath. And slowly unwind, tucking your shoulders if they were tucked. Rolling down, hugging those knees back in. And taking those feet back to the floor. Arms reach to a T. Lift your hips up a couple of inches. Scooch them over to the right. Tumble the knees over to the left. Supine twist. You can sandwich a bolster or a blanket or a block in between the knees here if you'd like, or if this is not working for you, then find something that does. Elbows can bend here, gaze can be lifted or cast over the right shoulder. Keep the breath flowing down into the belly. One more breath here. Good. Return those feet back through center. Bring the hips back to center as well. Lifting up the hips. Scoot them over to the left a few inches, making some space so that we can bring the knees over to the right. Again, adjusting however you need to make this pose work for you. Twists are wonderful to massage out the inner workings of our bodies, allowing them to work more efficiently. Take one more deep breath here. And gently return your knees back through center. Take any final movements here that you'd like to take before moving into your Shavasana. Shavasana is our final relaxation pose. And however you'd like to practice that, some people like to practice that seated or lying down or even on their belly. I've been practicing that recently. As you take that time to finish up within your practice today, I'm going to set up for our sound bowl section of our class. And something that might be nice is to angle your head so that it's facing your computer or your device, whatever you're on, so that you can hear this a little bit better. We've heard that feedback from people that's helpful to hear. Angle my computer down so you can see my beautiful bowls. They're all ready. Making your way down to your final relaxation pose. Again, whatever that looks like for you. Releasing the jaw. Part the back teeth. Soften over the forehead, down over the temples, allowing even the eyes to relax and fall away from the eyelids. Every muscle fiber, every cell is full of breath, full of ease. The mind is awake, open and clear. And if you notice your mind beginning to wander, acknowledge that you're thinking and let the thoughts go. Anchoring your awareness back to the breath, the body, and the peacefulness deep within. savor in your stillness for a few moments longer. Inviting your awareness back into your space and back into the body, deepening the breath. In your own time, finding small movements, your fingers and toes. Gently rock the head from side to side. And as you feel ready, welcoming larger movements, stretching arms overhead, reaching from the tips of the fingers to the ends of the toes, stretching and yawning, whatever you'd like to welcome in. Slowly making your way up to seated. Taking your time, no rush. And coming to that comfortable seat, hands at heart center, gathering in all the benefits of our practice today, our awareness of our breath, the feeling of connecting to earth, to grounding in our space. Take that in, welcome it into your heart space to carry around with you throughout the rest of your day, maybe throughout the rest of your week. Thank you so much, and always an honor and a pleasure to share space with you. Even though we're not in the same room, that's okay. This practice transcends that. So thank you again, and have a beautiful rest of your day, your weekend, your week ahead, and hopefully I will see you very soon. Namaste. Oh, thank you, Angelica. I'm so glad you were able to join in and make it a family affair. Oh, thank you, Ali. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Please feel free to reach out if you want more of these. Thank you, Chris. If you want more of these types of practices, I try and bring them every couple months or so, with all the other stuff going on. But if there is a need for more, please let me know. I'm always happy to bring that your way. Also, I will be releasing the audio of the sound bath portion of this class either this evening or maybe probably tomorrow. Let's go for tomorrow. Yes, so thank you again. Please, again, just reach out if there's any questions that you have, any requests that you had for more offerings or different videos that we can offer, let me know. And I will hopefully see you soon in some capacity. Bye. Oh, awesome. All right, Angelica, I will definitely work to make more of these for y'all. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.